welcome to another edition of the Candy Talk segment, and today we will be chatting with our very own Lawino. Mr. Lawino, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you, and that's not the way you pronounce my name. There's an apostrophe here, so it's supposed to add a delay to it. It's Lawino.
Okay, so Mr. Lawino, tell us more about yourself.
Lawino is an entrepreneur. I also happen to be an artist. I am the CEO of His and Hers Zambia, which is a branding, marketing, and advertising company. I also happen to be the CEO of Black Billionaire, which is a music record label, and I am also an artist and a Black Billionaire.
Oh, that's great to hear. I believe the Lawino name is an AKA. Many people would like to know what's your real name and why did you choose to go with the name Lawino?
My real names are Muzaya Mila Shandavu, Ila by tribe.
Ila?
Yes, I'm Ila by tribe, from the southern province.
Okay.
The reason why I decided to start using Lawino, because I know obviously it's not my real name. So the reason why I decided to start using Lawino, I used to take literature back in high school, and we had a play in our syllabus called Songs of Lawino, and I just fell in love with the play, you understand, so I decided to give myself the Lawino name, and for the fact that West Africans are more influential in Africa right now, I felt, when I push their agenda as an artist and they notice the Lawino name, obviously it will actually be very easy for them to, look into who is this Lawino guy and what kind of music is he doing and stuff like that. So that's how come I got the name.
You've talked of the kind of music that you do. What kind of music do you do, and what are some of the happening songs that you have right now?
I think I'm more inclined to music with an African sound.
Oh, really?
You understand? Yeah. So I would categorize my music as indigenous music. Before I was mostly doing stuff in English, and I was doing like hip hop, R&B genres. But later on, like this year, I kind of discovered my new self. Like I discovered my new persona, so to say. So the first song that I dropped this year was more on the indigenous side, and this was like the first time I was actually rapping in Ila.
And what song
the song
was
is
that?
called Local Champion. I think it's a current song that I'm promoting right now. It's actually doing very well on local charts, and it's actually doing very well. And I'm yet to drop another song this Friday. So I think I've actually discovered a new style of doing music, and I want to represent Africa. I want to represent Zambia, so I'll be I'll be doing music to promote our mother tongue, so to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talked of Local Champion. I believe you also have other songs that are happening. What are some of the songs that you feel are really doing good on the market out there?
To be honest with you, I haven't really been active. We couldn't agree on certain things because obviously, for me to actually run a record label, the certain things that I believe in, you understand? So obviously,
like every company has got rules.
Yes. So there's a standard that I always look at. I would rather not do a video if I don't get the quality that I want.
Okay.
This is the reason why from 2017 I've only dropped one video. So I haven't dropped videos because there was a standard I was looking for. And now that we have found the right people to work with, this is when I have put myself on the line to start shooting videos. So in a period of 1 month, we are likely to shoot about 3 videos.
Okay.
You understand? So this guy is flying from DRC and coming to Zambia specifically for me.
Okay.
You understand? So so I feel Brisky didn't really understand my vision or what I was trying to build, because this is not only about doing music that will just die out in Zambia, but it's about doing music that will sell out there.
Okay.
And standard is one of the things that I believe in. Each and every artist is supposed to be a brand, and if you're a brand, you need to attach a certain standard to your name, depending with what audience you want to sell your music to. So I think she didn't really understand what I was trying to create, and at the end of the day, things didn't work out.
Okay. You talked about getting your name from songs of Lawino, as in Lawino, meaning you sort of have some like educational background and you know how most people think. Maybe people who are in the music industry, the business industry.
I've been studying music for a long time. I will not lie. Like
yes.
I have more connection on the outside world than in Zambia.
Okay.
Yes, so I've been learning and trying to figure out how these other people think. You understand, like not just inclined to how Zambians are thinking. So I've interacted a lot with people from Nigeria. I've interacted with a lot of people from Ghana, Angola, South Africa. So what I'm trying to build is in the lines of trying to attach an international feel to everything that I do, and that has been my target.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. I know I cut you short.
Yes, I wanted to bring in the aspect of academic education as blending your academic qualifications and blending it in with business and music. Because most of people think, okay, even without an education, I can make it in music, I can make it in business. Like, maybe I want you to inspire someone out there with your academic qualification and how you blend it in with your music and business, so that they can know that, okay, in as much as you can make it in music and business, education is also important, and how it has been an impact to you.
Education is very important, yes. I'm a professional project manager, a diploma holder, though I've never really practiced my profession, but I believe it's not only getting employed. At times you can actually create something of your own, which I'm actually doing now. So the first thing that each and every any person that is supposed to venture in any kind of business, the fact is that you need to have a certain level of education, because how else are you going to communicate with the outside world? It's important that you know the nitty-gritties of what area you are dealing in. If it's business, if it's music, you need the education. How do you sign a contract when you can't read it? How do you sign a contract when you basically don't really understand what is being asked for? So it's actually like very, very important. I've actually like seen a lot of people trying to shun away from education and saying, no, it doesn't mean when you're educated you become rich and whatnot. The aspect of education or getting educated is actually not becoming rich. It's just a matter of just having a better understanding and the way of communicating with the outside world. Whether you become rich or not, that's up to you. Because we are not saying if you're not educated then you cannot become successful. No. But you need the level of education. They say knowledge is power, so yeah. Okay.
So we know you as Lawino, the musical artist, the entrepreneur,
I'm happy you say musical artist.
The CEO of His and Her Zambia. What is the other side of Lawino that people don't know? Let's say your hobby, something that you think people don't know about you that might more like be a fun fact, or something that people will be like, oh, okay.
You know, it's funny. This will actually sound like a joke, but I'm a person that I don't know, like I'm not really keen to like doing a lot of things. I think besides me being at work and besides me recording, I'm mostly at home. Like there's nothing, I'm not into any sport.
Okay.
I don't like going out. I don't love being in a place where there are a lot of people. So I rarely go for events unless if I'm invited and I'm making a special appearance. Oh, okay. So most of the times I think I'm just home. The only thing that I would say I'm interested in, I think, is reading.
Oh, really?
Like when I'm home, most of the times I would rather read or watch a movie, because that's where I get like most of my ideas from.
Oh, really?
When it comes to writing songs and whatnot, trust me. People that do script writing for movies have got the best ideas ever.
Oh, really?
So most of the times I want to like tap into their space. Okay. You understand, eh? That's the thing. So I think reading and I think just being home and just having some alone time is what I usually do most of the times.
Okay, first things first, before we go into the other aspect of the interview, are you a registered voter?
You have to ask. Yes. Everybody has to register. Like, it's our right as citizens, and we need to practice it.
Okay.
You understand? So don't let other people choose leaders for you, and then later on you start complaining. Say, no, this and that. Go and register, and 2021 is coming. Everybody has to vote. Okay. I'm a registered voter.
And
You want to see my I'm just
yes,
kidding.
I want to see everything.
I don't move with it, just in case I lose it.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then you know that voter registration has been extended, right?
It has been?
It has been extended.
Oh, okay.
It has been extended, right?
It has been?
I think
To how many
4
days?
days? 4 days.
4 days?
From, I think, the 16th.
Amazing.
4 days onwards. And then we have this mentality as Zambians of doing things at the last minute, because we saw like it was extension after extension.
I don't think it's actually only Zambians. I think just Africans in general. Yo.
Okay.
Everybody else wants to do things at the last minute. I don't know why.
So what advice can you give to people out there who, yes, it has been extended, we know it's 4 days, but we see more people showing up on the last day, and others will still be crying for an extension again.
I think generally human beings are just comfortable. We love to panic, because even when someone is preparing for an exam, you find that the last days or the last few weeks to the exam, that's when people want to do a lot of studying and whatnot.
Okay.
I feel we need to fight that mentality. But for voting, guys, I think since it's been extended, start going now. Don't wait for the last day, because they actually maybe extended it knowing the fact that other people actually haven't registered yet and they want to do it on the last day. So what happens on the last day? Still, Tamupishi who are registered doesn't really make sense. So you better go now. This is a serious matter. As citizens, I think we actually need to participate in voting, and I'm hoping that people have really, really registered. Yeah.
His or her Zambia, it's a clothing brand, right?
His and hers. No. And this is a perception that I would like to clarify.
Because I've seen those T-shirts written.
The couple T-shirts.
The couple shirt. His and hers. So that's the first thing that comes into my mind.
So let me explain something.
Okay.
His and hers. It's an idea that blends the man and the woman.
Okay.
You understand? It's been there like for ages.
But are you the owner of
No,
those
no,
T-shirts?
listen, I'm still explaining. I'm still explaining. When you wear matching shoes, you can call them his and hers shoes.
Okay.
When you drive matching cars, you probably call them his and hers cars. So when I started the business, I won't lie, I started with the couple T-shirts, which are the his and hers couple T-shirts. Not so. Great. Okay. So I started doing couple T-shirts before the company was registered. So it worked out so fine. Like for months, we actually like had a lot of sales. We reached out to almost all the provinces. We were like supplying and delivering outside Lusaka. So the business was very good. So the time that I was going to register the actual company, the first names that came in my mind were his and hers. You understand? So we only attached Zambia Enterprise to it because it's a company now. So what his and hers Zambia does is not only couple T-shirts. Like I said in my introduction, we are a branding, marketing, and advertising company. So we do any kind of branding, be it billboards, T-shirts, corporate branding, stuff like that. We also advertise and we market. So his and hers couple T-shirts, this is just like some of the things that we just do as a company. We are into branding, we are into printing. So the company is not only about the couple T-shirts, but that was something that we started with. And I should not get the credit to say I was the first person to do the T-shirts in Zambia. No, that would be a lie. But I guess we just made them popular. You understand, eh? And because we have so anyway, I came across a Fly Jay video. Then I started following him. So I noticed, he does a lot of freestyles, goes to radio station, does interviews and whatnot. Then I became interested because this was the time that I started the record label. So I was like, oh, okay. So I think I could actually pick this talent and try to just mold him as a young boy. And let's see how this works. So I posted on my Facebook page, like the Lawino page. And then I said, anyone that is in touch with Fly Jay can contact me on these numbers. So a few minutes later, someone called me. He said, no, actually I know someone that is records the boy and manages the boy. So I can give you his number, or I'll give him your number and then you can reach out. So that's how Josman, by then he's one that was managing Fly Jay. So Josman reached out and we set up a meeting. So Josman came through at his and hers with Fly Jay. So I got to talk to them, and I gave them a few ideas of how I wanted to work with them, him and Fly Jay, because you cannot just snatch someone from you know. Yeah, so later on, he introduced me to the dad. Then we began talking. I think he was quite satisfied with the ideas that I had for the son. And yeah, we actually agreed to say we take him back to school. So before we even signed the contract with the parents, I think we actually paid for his school. And yeah, from that point, I think everything else just fell in place. So he started going to school, and we started recording him as an artist. We started branding him. I bought him new clothes. Started doing photo shoots.
It was even evident.
And stuff like that. Then later on, because like 2018 we only dropped like 2 songs. 2019, I think we started working. No, was it? Actually, I messed up with dates.
Okay.
So I think 2019 is when we signed him.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2019, I came across the video in somewhere December 2018. So 2019 is when they came through. So we signed him in 2019. Then we recorded like 2 major projects, like his own projects. Then he featured on a Black Billionaire, not really a cypher, but it was like a cluster of all artists that were signed under the record label.
Okay.
So 2020 is when we started working on his album. Okay, so in the process, I had a plan. I didn't just want him to just release music anyhow. So I understood the kind of person he was. I also knew a few steps that I needed to take before fully taking him out there. So education was like the most important thing for me. Like, he needed to be educated. For the fact that he grew up on the streets, he needed to start embracing a new culture, looking at things differently, because trust me, Fly Jay was inclined to money. Like, every time, what he would want to do is, even when you leave food at home, he would want to go on the streets and make his own money.
I think that's the culture with most street children.
Exactly.
Even in orphanages, people complain, like, when you take in, yes, you give them food, you give them clothes, but still, street kids run out from orphanages to go and look for money.
It was
on
a
the
process.
streets.
So I think for me, 2020 was about just getting him across, like, from his old behavior, transcending to a new Fly Jay that understood how things are supposed to be done.
Is it true that he's older than his age, so that maybe the viewers can understand? Most people said he was 8, but others were like, no, he's just short.
No.
Boy is like jacked up.
Fly Jay is 10.
Oh, he's 10 now.
He's 10.
Okay, so maybe that was correct.
I think maybe that was like 2 years ago, when he was 8.
Maybe
but now he's 10, right?
Then he's still young.
But he's still young. He's still young. But now, this is one thing that you need to understand. I believe there are people that are born for greatness.
Yes.
You understand? Like, they are super intelligent. Fly Jay is definitely a genius. He's way intelligent than I am, because the way he perceives things is way too different. I cannot freestyle. I've been recording music for quite some time, but I cannot freestyle like Fly Jay does.
Even me, I can't.
You understand? I have met great artists in Zambia, but trust me, put Fly Jay on stage with any rapper, he will murder you. You understand? So, like, his IQ is high. It's amazing. So the only disadvantage that he has is that he grew up in a wrong environment, and that kind of kills the whole vibe. But otherwise, the boy is very intelligent. So this year, sometime it should have been June, July, somewhere there, my father called me, because my father is based in Southern Province. He retired. So my father called me and says, no, we have a funeral. Because by then I was staying with Fly Jay. I actually moved in with him after a few years from, I think after a year and some months from the time that I signed him up, because I needed to build that trust with the parents. You can't just get someone's child and say, I'll start staying with him, when the parents don't really trust you. So I needed to build that trust. And these people understood how I cared for him and what intentions I had towards them, because I was not only helping him, I was also coming in to help the parents from time to time. At times you would actually help them pay rent. At times maybe the mother is sick, you would actually chip in. We created a family, in short. It was more than just music. In as much as we had a contract attached to me promoting him, it was more than just music. So when I started staying with him, I actually started noticing change, because at some point he even stopped leaving home. Okay? Like I would leave him home with a maid, and I would maybe knock off around 17, I'll still find him home. Maybe he would have gone out at some point, but he would still come back. Because his behavior before was way too different. Every time that you leave home, so long the gate is open, you will not find him, and you will not come back. You understand? So it was that bad at some point, and then later on, we started seeing gradual change. It got to a point where he couldn't even go back to Chiwole, because that's where the parents stay. So at times they would say, no, I want to see you on Sunday, and he would refuse. No, I'm going to see stuff like that. I started seeing change. Now, I don't know how this happened, because like right now I keep on asking myself a lot of questions. When I was called to go for the funeral in Southern Province, Fly Jay couldn't remain alone at home. It was a bit dangerous, because anything can happen. This is not my child. So if something happens now, the blame will be put on me. But I made a sacrifice, and this is one thing that I've never mentioned, not even on TV or you understand. So I had to go against my family to start staying with Fly Jay. I had to go against my girlfriend, because this is a person that I felt has a bright future. Okay?
Yes.
So I genuinely cared for him. And I had to stand my grounds and explain to these people. We had a conversation with my dad at some point, and his concern was, look, this is not your child. What happens if something bad was to, happen? How will you explain to the people? Even the parents would not understand. Okay? But I made a sacrifice. It's a decision that I made, considering the fact that at some point, if my child was in the same situation, I would want another person to come in and help. I'm human. I've got feelings. So I looked at him as someone who's vulnerable. And I said, no matter what, I think we'll make things work. So when I went for the funeral, Fly Jay had to go back to his parents' house. Apparently, the time that he was leaving, he was not happy. He was crying, hey, and stuff like that, you understand? So little did we know that outcry was calling for something bigger. So when I left, he only spent a night by the parents' house. Then the next day, he sneaked out, which is a normal behavior, like he always sneaks out, right? Then, this was on a Wednesday. Thursday, he sneaks out. And he did not go back home for 7 days. Okay? This is a 10-year-old boy. 7 days, nowhere to be seen. So, 4th day, I think the father called me and said, we haven't even seen him. I've been looking for him and whatnot. So when I came back to Lusaka, what usually happens is that when Fly Jay is on the streets, people would call me, because there was a statement that we had put up at some point on my page saying, no, if you see him, please don't take pictures. Just kindly call us and we'll come and pick him up. So one of, there's someone that called me from Intercity and said, no, Fly Jay, I'm going to buy Intercity. You understand? This boy is a G.
That boy is too sharp.
No, Fly Jay, I'm going to pass street, by Intercity. And then I told the father, so the father actually went and found him there. He's a boy as well. Wait. So, and the father finds him, then brings him here. So he convinced the father, no, I want to go and see Uncle Awina. They came. Then the time that they came, I think the time I go back from Namala, I was actually shifting from Liwala to Chilanga. I'm actually staying in Chilanga now. So I was shifting and had packed everything. So when he was found, the father brought him here because he insisted. Not knowing. The boy said, Banco, Missy and him and I Fly Jay, what do you go to? Abadi chepa basai. Wenda koti. Tende to meeting at a super check window, la chabe, but is that way after a few days?
Yes.
Okay. That's how we, I was like, the father said, hey, you wait for yourself, Miss Hamza. This boy has gone. You see, I was not even aware. Someone just gave me the number. So how did he make a connection? Say, no, they organized for him. Like, someone called. Because he masters numbers. Like I said, he's a genius. He masters numbers. Like, if you tell him your number today, he will master it. Tomorrow, you'll actually be able to tell you your number. So what he does is, wherever he is, he already masters my number. So he will probably call. So I think he had mastered Waiselib's number. So he called Waiselib. Oh, that's super. I don't know what happened, but they made connections for him. He got on the bus. Exactly. So he went there. Then I was trying to communicate with Waiselib for like about a week. He was not responding to my messages, not even calls. Then we used Fly Jay's dad's number. We actually called, he was not picking up, sent him messages, no, see the father, blah, blah, still not responding. I called King Deza, because me and King Deza were in talking terms by then. So I called King Deza and said, oh, one of you boys has actually gotten my artist. Why said, oh, no, Papa, so I can only attend to that issue when I go back to Ndoa. I said, oh, okay, great. So give me a feedback when you go there, because I mean that's a minor and the parents are worried and stuff like that. Family members are complaining, So when King Deza went to Ndola, he claimed to say he talked to Waiselib. Okay, and then when I was talking to him, the information he was giving me was not really proper information. It was a bit vague. Then, seeing how everything was going and whatnot, and those guys, Tawangala, and stuff like that, so I just said, what? I told the dad to say, maybe you should report this matter to the police, because yes, I am his manager, but you are the parent, so maybe you need to come in and do what you can do. Me, I'll just be there to support you and back you up. Then that was a bit reluctant and whatnot. Anyway, so overall, that happened, and the scandal for the father, the Shanuko.
I think that's where the scandal for his father came in.
Exactly. So because I was contacting these guys, and I think I actually posted something on Facebook attacking Waiselib directly. They made him make a video. They showed a video of him asking him questions, and it was like something that was, according to me, I think it was just out of malice, and they just had an intention to tarnish my name and whatnot. So that didn't really work out, because I think most of the comments, it was like 70%, 30%. 70 are for Lawino was actually just in the right direction, blah, 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 blah. And the other ones, obviously, Kopala people, with the way they just think.
Just leave the boy.
Hey, you wait, Tabano you're not even famous, and stuff like that, right? So, anyway, I just kept quiet, I didn't respond. We just let them be. At that particular point, I had the Alice issue, because she actually sued me, and we were supposed to appear in court this month.
Alice Roland.
And we are still waiting. Nothing has happened.
Okay.
So anyway, during that time, I was going to the law firm like almost every day, because we needed to like sort out this issue. So I brought the issue on the table, because now this was actually like kind of going to jeopardize my case. You understand? So I said, okay, you guys, I think we need to take action, because these guys have gone against our contract. They've actually made him break our contract. So we need to sue them. And or tell the parents to come and get him. I don't really know what happened, but he made some claims, Shanshan, blah, blah. Anyhow, later on, he sneaked out and ran off, came back to Lusaka. So even the time that he was coming back to Lusaka, someone had already called me. So no, he's gotten on this bus, because people are concerned. And I think a lot of people that really understood what I was doing for him, I think they actually just respected the fact that I was there. Besides me promoting his music and whatnot, I was just there. So
and as a father, no wonder
exactly. So they just like respected me for that. Okay, Lawino. So they informed me and they said, okay, at the moment, there's practically nothing I can do. Like I cannot be directly involved, because a lot has transpired from the time he left to now. And in as much as I care for him, I think the parents just need to put their foot down and just help the boy. Me, I can help him, yes, from a distance. He needs rehab. I already communicated with a lot of people, but he came to Lusaka, and he's been on the streets. Because when he came, I contacted the father and I contacted the uncle who is in Lusaka. The father right now is in Copper Belt.
Okay.
So the uncle has been looking for him from the time that he came till date.
And people just say he's at Evelyn Hall,
exactly. So,
in the city.
And to some extent, because if it was a child, he was going to come. But he hasn't even stepped a foot here. You get? That's
I think
the way it
because
is.
of what transpired.
Exactly. So he reasons, I think I messed up, so I can. But with other people, you tell them, no, apologize on my behalf, Sunshine, But he's not coming direct to me.
Okay, but
you understand?
Let's say, for example, he's watching right now and he wants to come back. What can you tell him?
Yeah, because, to be honest, I think experience is the best teacher. I have learned a lot of things from my experience. And I'm not saying I regret my decisions. Trust me, I'm one person and I always say this. Everything that I've done, I'm happy that I did it. Okay. It shaped me in becoming the person I am now. So I have learned a lot. I have a lot of love for him. Even though the contract is still valid, okay? I would not take him back. But I would render my help. How would I render my help? Fly Jay needs rehab right now. I have already talked to people. So it's just a matter of getting hold of him and probably just taking him to that facility. Because the truth of the matter is that he might have been exposed to drugs at a tender age.
Yes.
Because of the environment he's coming from, because of the people he's found with.
That's
start sharing that mentality needs to stop because we've gotten to a point where real issues are not addressed.
Yes.
You understand? So which is very bad. So that's my stance. I still care for him and I would still extend my hands to help him. But taking him back as his manager is not something that you are likely to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think is the cause of such behavior in children? Is it just a rebellious behavior in them, or maybe it's from even the home they're coming from, the parenting? And some are saying maybe he comes from a broken home.
To be honest with you, I've interacted with his father, I've interacted with the mother.
The mother is still alive?
Yes. I've interacted with both parents. I've interacted with his environment, the family members. These are people that really care for him. Okay? The father may not be doing well, but he's a man that will go out there and just make something out of nothing and just goes home and provides for the family. Sometimes things are difficult, yes. But he's about 4 years. So it's during that period that Fly Jay was actually exposed to the bad environment. Okay? The mother could not continue paying rent where they were staying, so they had to go to Mississippi if I'm not mistaken. So from Mississippi, I think they went to Chigoya. So I think the environment, and I'm not saying everyone that comes from the ghetto is bad, okay? And actually, these people actually I don't blame anyone. I can't even point fingers. Guys, we've never been in their shoes before. A solid foundation for everyone, okay? Then we have an artist from Ghana, we have an artist from Angola. So with the record label, we intend to make a mark on the international scene. Then secondly, I am currently working on my EP and I'm working on my album. This will sound like a joke. We intend to feature people like Sauti Sol from Kenya, Sakode from Ghana, Olamide Nigeria, Wizkid on the album.
Oh, really?
So yes, so this is the thing. From now to July, we have a target. So I'll need to, because we already approached these people, so there are things that they're asking for. Obviously, when you start talking to them,